Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. This is a tutorial for one of our premium wreath kits. The kit does come with a specific tutorial just for exactly what you're purchasing, and this is that video. So we have a 12-inch metal sign, we have our frame, we have the pipe cleaners that we need, we have the ribbon that we need for the bow, the ribbon that we need for the ribbon tails, and we have a roll of mesh. Now, here's what I've done so far. I've already pre-cut our mesh, 20 inches long for the mesh, 20 inches. So I've already pre-cut those. You need 12 pieces. So I've pre-cut those. I used my rotary cutter and a self-healing mat. You can use the scissors, but remember, this is a mesh. It's a woven material. So if you're not cutting on a straight line, it will help it fray, right? So you want to make sure you're cutting on a straight line, and just be careful when you use it. If you've never used this before, after you cut your 12 pieces, cut an extra piece and practice. And I'm going to show you how to ruffle it in just a moment. So do that before you use your pieces for your actual wreath. Okay. All right. The kit also comes with zip tie mounts. And we use them for pipe cleaners, even though they're called zip tie mounts, or we call them zip tie mounts. What you want to do for these is, if you're going to use them, I'm not going to use them, but if you're going to use them, what you want to do is peel off the back, add a little bit of maybe super glue, and add a little tiny bit to the back and stick it on your sign. Okay. We are actually going to use pipe cleaners. We're going to try our best to hide the imperfections, hide them, but I feel more secure if I'm using wire or a pipe cleaner. Okay, so it did come with these. Again, you would just stick it on there, and then all you do is, if it's stuck on there, put your pipe cleaner through and twist it around. And then you would weave this, just like we're going to in the video. You would weave this through the mesh and attach it to the frame. So that's all you would do if you're using the mounts. We're gonna set that aside because we're not actually going to use them. Our kits also, a lot of them are wood signs. So if they're wood signs, I use a staple gun. I would prefer for you to use that with our pipe cleaners. Also, our kits always come with the zip tie mounts. So what we are going to do is we're going to add our pipe cleaners right to the center, because we're going to get these out of the way, right to the center. I'm going to add it right there, and that's what we're going to use to attach it at the bottom. And we're going to add a pipe cleaner right to the top, and this is what we're going to use to add it to the top. Okie-dokie. And we'll just do our best to hide that. I know that sounds funny, but we will. Okay? I'm going to set that aside for now, and we're going to work on our pipe cleaner. So our frame is a patent-pending Pancake Wreath frame, co-designed by yours truly. Super happy to be part of that. And it's based on my Pancake Wreath recipe or design. Okay, so what we're going to do next is right where the hole and the notch are, I'm going to put my pipe cleaner through there, twist it. We're going to do that all the way around. One thing I'm doing is I'm making sure that when I twist, I'm twisting right along the edge. So not inside the notch, not right on top of the hole there, but right on the wood, kind of right on that corner, right on that crevice or crease, whatever you want to call it, right on that edge. It's a good word, edge. Okay, and that's just going to help us separate the layers. One thing we do not have to worry about, though, is the pipe cleaners being even, because we're going to cut off most of these. So look, they're not even, right? It's fine, because we're going to cut off most of it. In this particular recipe, you don't have to worry, because We're not putting a whole lot of things in the pipe cleaner to use the whole entire thing. Whereas then I would want to make sure I have enough. See, look, it doesn't even matter. Really short here. It's fine. I'm not saying I want you to do it like not perfect, but in this particular instance, this doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Last one going in. Now again, I said I already pre-cut our mesh, but let's talk about our ribbons for just a second. For all of our kits, this is how you know what is for the ribbon tails and what is for the bow. So for the bow, they all come coiled like this and wrapped. For the bow, you're going to have 4 or 5, typically 4 or 5 lengths here. So 4 or 5 strips. And I've already pre-cut these, but for the ribbon tails, you'll have 12. Remember, we cut 12 pieces of mesh. We need 12 ribbons each, okay? So in this case, there were 2 ribbons for our ribbon tails, right? We had the umbrellas and the plaid. Now, again, there would be 12 lengths. In addition to that, when you purchase your kit, right, you can always go back to your purchases in Etsy. In the description, it will say purple umbrella, multicolor umbrella, 2.5 inch ribbon for the ribbon tails. 2.5 inch pink and purple and white plaid ribbon for the ribbon tails. It literally says it right there. It'll say 2.5 inch purple with daisies for the bow, right? For the bow. It'll describe what we have here, describe your ribbon. It'll say for the bow, for the ribbon tails. You always can reference back that. It is not the case for mystery kits. Okay? It's not the case for mystery kits. So even if your kit doesn't come with a specific video that matches your kit, you can always look at the description to see. Now, if it's a mystery kit, the description isn't going to say what it is because it's a mystery, but you'll know because you can count 4 or 5 strips for the bow, 12 strips for the ribbon, or for the ribbon tails, all right? So just letting you know as a reminder, I know I've said that a couple million times, but in case you're brand new, I want you to be able to know that also. All right, back to the frame we just prepped. I love this mesh. It is super duper cool. I love the border because that's really basically what we see. We're going to just scrunch right up the center. We're going to work on the outside of that frame first. We're going to work on the outside of that frame first. I'm going to put my mesh right down in there. Now remember, it is fraying. If you're not looking really, really close, you're going to miss it, but it is fraying. So I put it in there nice and tight, twist, twist. And then I'm going to overlap here and overlap here. So that, this is a pancake wreath, so that this can be kind of mostly round, mostly flat, like a pancake. So it'll fit between most of the storm door, main doors. And you see here, there is a little bit of fraying. I'm going to show you. There's a little bit of fraying there. It's fine. I promise, in the end, after we have all of our layers, all of our ribbon, the sign, the bow, it's okay. But like I said, if you're brand new, right? If you're brand new and you've never used the mesh before, make sure you have practiced with a piece or two from what's left, because you don't need the whole entire roll for this particular design. So make sure you practice with what's left so you can see how it goes. Because what happens is, if you practice with the pieces that are going on your wreath, then that fraying becomes massive, all right? And then it becomes a little harder to camouflage or hide. So just make sure you're practicing on something that you're not going right in the wreath. And I'm just kind of putting them separate just enough so that I can make sure I can get that top zip pipe cleaner there, because when I go in for the next layer, I want to be able to see those pipe cleaners easily to get my mesh right down on top. All right, so here we are. We're going to go ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch all the way. Right in here. Again, I cut in a straight line. I apply pressure. I do all the things, and it's a woven material. Keep that in mind. So you're seeing it fray there. It's all right. We're going to just do our best to camouflage it. Now, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying it's okay if it's fraying and it's okay if you see it. We're going to do our best to hide it. So for this particular ruffle, you're leaving those edges kind of seen or exposed. Whereas if you're doing a different kind of ruffle, you'll kind of hide them a little bit more. But that's not how this one is. So you do see those edges when you're in this stage. Again, just making sure I'm not hiding those, because I'm going to come in for them in just a few minutes. This mesh is so cool. I love the border mesh, because when you're making pancake wreaths like this, that border, that outer like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, is really the only thing you get to really see. And so I love the border mesh when I'm making pancakes. The inside of the mesh is kind of, you know, it's kind of see-through. There's a little bit of foil there, but it's definitely not like this outer layer. It is not really necessary in this case to have the inside have all this fun stuff, right? So I'm okay with it not. There we go. Really pretty. So then what I've already done is I've taken my ribbons and I've cut them and separated them. And we're going to go and right from this layer of mesh into the ribbon layer. And then we'll go in and do the exact same thing on those inner pipe cleaners that we are kind of moving out of the way. Right? Perfection. I love it. So here's what I did. I took those ribbons that look like this, right? They're coiled. I said, okay, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so pretend this is this one. I found the center, I put my scissors right up in there, and I cut. On the other side, put them right up in there in the center and cut. Again, not the bow ribbon, I'm just showing you for example, but oh, here, I have one right here. Okay, here you go. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stick my scissors right in here, find at the center, right in there. Go in, chop, chop. Go to the other side, find that center, go in, chop, chop. All right? And then you're perfect. You don't have to measure out exactly 14 inches, I will say. It was coiled on a 14-inch board, all right? That's how I do that. And so it'll all vary, but I promise it'll be just fine when you put them in. All right, so I put my favorite ribbon on top of the supporter ribbon. I'm going to scrunch up the center, fold it out towards me, and put it right inside there. Now a couple things. This is a one-directional ribbon, and so you'll see some are facing towards you, some are facing upside down. It's totally fine. Okay, some are facing towards you, some are facing upside down. It's fine. I just want to make sure that when I put them in there, you see how facing towards you is on the right? I want to make sure facing towards me is on the right. One other thing that I did that I just forgot to mention, let me add this in here, hold on. One other thing that I did that I forgot to mention is I dovetailed the edge of that ribbon. So what I did was, I got my ribbon strips, I folded it in half, and right on the fold, so I cut my scissors goes right on the fold part up towards the edge, and when it opens it's this nice little finished kind of V shape on the ends, just to make it look more finished, more polished, all that stuff. Okay, so we're just going to keep going here. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're just going to keep going here, making sure all of those pieces all come out facing towards me. All facing towards me. They're all going in the same direction, meaning that one that's facing towards me, the umbrella is going the right way. All stay on the right. I'm going to try real hard to remember that. Not that it will be noticeable, or I promise no one's going to be like, hey, that one's going a different way. Really, truly, it's not going to happen, because I know for sure I've made that mistake in more than one instance. I have to have had, and no one has said anything. Still have 5 stars on our Etsy, you know, it's just fine. Okay. There we go. So now that this is in, I'm going to pick up my wire cutter once. I'm going to go in and cut off the excess. Remember I said it's fine if they're even, because we're not going to use the whole thing anyways. This is what I mean. We're not going to use the whole thing. So I'm going to cut off what's extra, just because I'm going to hide the rest of it or move the rest of it. And this is just parts I don't need to do. But this part, this next part, is very important. I want you to pay attention. We're going to make sure we are pushing this down, compact it, so kind of push all that down. We just, you know, wound that pipe cleaner up, so I want to kind of keep it all together. And then pull these two apart, up and down, apart, side to side, right? I want to make sure, because when I scrunched it up, I kind of made them become one, and when I pull them apart, I want them to be two, right? I want them to be two. So I'm going to try to make sure I pull them apart so that I see both. And then also, one more thing, I'm going to make sure I keep the pattern going. So, for example, I have plaid, umbrella, plaid, umbrella. I'm going to make sure I keep that going, plaid, umbrella, so that I don't have 2 umbrellas touching each other and 2 plaids touching each other, just because when that happens, in my opinion, and I've sold hundreds of wreaths, pancake wreaths at this point, so I know it's what people like to buy. It just keeps your eye moving. It doesn't stop because there's like, oh, it's the same. So it just keeps your eye moving along the way so that you can see, you see every part of it. But in this case, when you can see it as a blend, it just goes a little bit easier, right? Push it down, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, right? Push it down, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. And again, making sure that all those little edges come right out off the edge of that wreath, because whatever goes on the inside is going to be hidden by the next layer, the sign and the bow, right? So I want to make sure I have that all in there so I can see all the parts. My pipe cleaners are ready, and we'll do the next part all together, okay? Well, not all together, but as a repeat from the first one. All right, so do the same thing, just again on the top layer. Here we go. Just gonna ruffle. And when I put my mesh down, I'm not moving anything out of the way. It goes directly on top. Now I referenced on the first layer that the mesh kind of barely touches each other, or kind of butts up next to each other. These two pieces, and what I mean by that, like these two pieces didn't completely overlap one another, but these pieces are going to overlap. Okay, so when I put this piece in here, this piece is going to completely overlap over here. And that will be the point in time where, if you don't already, which I know you can still see the frame at this point, but that'll be the point where you stop really seeing the frame and all of your materials are, you know, becoming more relevant. Nobody wants to see the frame, even though I love the frame. No one wants to see that frame. If you purchased this kit, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for supporting us. It is a super duper cute kit. I love the mesh. Oh, it's something a little bit different. And then if you follow me, you know I would be perfectly content and happy with the burlap, plain burlap mesh for every single wreath, because I love how that really highlights the ribbon. That's my personal favorite, but I know sometimes that gets boring when we're doing kits. So I tried a really fun mesh this time. Love it. Mesh is, so for those of you who are listening, because I know some of you fast forward, mesh is a cool thing. So if I have a wreath that is going to have a lot in it, the mesh doesn't have to do a lot of talking. It can just be my support and the thing that I use as my base, etc., etc. It doesn't have to do a lot of talking. I have all the ribbons and the florals and the whatever else I might put into a wreath, you know, more than just this. So the mesh becomes, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on it, all those things, right? It becomes like a background and a support. In the pancake wreaths, it's cute. I really do love the border. It does look cute. But the bow and the ribbon tails and the sign do all the talking, and the mesh does really become a background. So think about a great big giant wreath or a great big giant garland, right? If you're planning to put floral layer after floral layer and filler greenery and bows and ribbon tails, you have all these fun things going into the garland or the ribbon or the wreath. The mesh isn't that important, right? It becomes just a subtle background in enough for you to use to glue all your stuff in and just be a support. So keep that in mind. If I'm trying to make a lower budget garland, I might use colored mesh on purpose so that it adds an element. It adds a layer of color. It adds a layer of texture and design. If I know I'm going to put a whole lot into the garland, I may use just a neutral mesh because I know so many things are going to go into the garland, and I want all those things to become the star of the show. Just a food for thought. Okay, here we go again. Coming in with our ribbons, making sure again that we're going the same way. So the ribbon, what is it called? The umbrellas that face me are going to stay on the right. Now I know, because I cut this ribbon, I know that the ribbon tails, the plaid ribbon tails, I know it's thin. I know it's thin. I know. But it fits this so perfectly. So again, if you followed me for any length of time, you know that sometimes ribbon is like fashion, right? It might be so stinking cute that you absolutely have to positively use it, but it might not be the very best quality. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this is a poor quality, but I'm saying it is a little thinner ribbon, and the ends, when you have them dovetailed, do curl a little. But it was the perfect blend to this design, to this for the ribbon tails. So I went with, I have to use it. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Super duper cute. We do have a couple of other kits available in our shop if you're looking. Check it out over at learnfrommelissa.com. Again, we'll pick up our wire cutter all at once and do the same thing. There's one different thing that we're going to do here at the end of this, as we spread these out. Instead of compacting that straight down, that pipe cleaner straight down, we're going to kind of push it in a little bit, just to help separate the layers. So we're going to do that all at once, okay? So again, we're going to push them in, and then I'm going to push it forward. So it just helps to pull this layer a little bit more away from this layer. Just a little bit. I just pulled that, pulled some strings. There we go. Excuse me. Okay, so up and down, same thing. Side to side, same thing. Up and down, side to side. Still all those ribbon tails coming out to the edge. Now again, I'm going to make sure that that gets underneath here. I don't want that mesh kind of creeping on top. I'm going to push this down and in, push it in. And I notice sometimes when I pull these apart, I am kind of holding on to that pipe cleaner that we just pushed in to kind of keep it in place. I know sometimes I do that. And I might not say that out loud, but I just realized that I do. Now we have that beautiful sign coming on. Nice big 12-inch round. So it's going to take up a lot of space. And I don't necessarily have to worry about it covering the inside, but I just want these little pipe cleaners to end up going underneath that sign, right? Always up and down, always side to side. Coming in for that last one. Super duper cute so far. Love, love, love the ribbon choices with the plaid, of course, because you know that's my favorite, the plaid, and the plaid and the umbrellas. All right, so how cute. Even if we didn't have any bows, look at that. That's darling. So, so cute. That is so, 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 so cute. Now, I'm going to do something that might not be the popular thing to do, but we're going to do it. Now, if you don't want to do this, I suggest you watch first and then try. But if you don't want to do it this way, it's fine. You don't have to do it this way. You can watch other videos for our bow that we put on, and you would just make the same size bow, and you would put it right down here at the bottom so it kind of covers, and you'd put it right in here. So for this, I'm going to be a little bit different because we have, remember, I said, oh, we'll hide those. We'll hide them, right? So let's do something a little bit different. Now watch first before you make this decision, okay? I'm going to take my ribbon. We have four lengths here. I'm going to take it and cut it in half. Okay. Now don't put your thing up here and just cut. That will not cut it in half. You see I'm unfolding. I'm unfolding. Here's my little half here. And I'm cutting. Okay. Don't cut it like the ribbon tails. Do not. You'll end up with not enough pieces to do what we're going to do. Okay. Now. These end up being 28 inches long. I'm going to take the end here and cut the dovetail. So I just put them together and I cut the dovetail. We're going to just stay with me for a second. Just stay with me for a second. Just stay with me for a second. We're going to take the strawberry next. Talking this out in my head right now. I get my easy bow maker just because I'm going to have that hold on to things for me. Now, typically for a pancake wreath, the bow is the same over and over and over again. Okay? I make the same bow over and over and over again. That's why I feel comfortable saying, if you don't want to do it this way to cover the pipe cleaners that we're going to cover, if you don't want to do it that way, go watch the other videos. But in this case, here's what we're going to do. Okay? We have about 28 inches at this point. Okay? We're going to take the ribbon and put it in like an awareness style size. Right? So you can see the awareness ribbon here. Just like a breast cancer awareness or autism awareness, all the awareness ribbons. So we have it kind of like that. And I'm going to take and hold on to the bottom here and pull this to the front, to the top, and then grab the bottom and then scrunch the whole thing together. Okay? Then once I have it in, I'm going to slide it right in here and have my easy bow maker hold on to it for me, because I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over again. I'm going to take the yellow, then I'm going to go with this really sweet. I wanted this one not only because the strawberries were just really sweet and cute, but it had the yellow flowers, it had the blue flowers, the like little, what looks like to me little tulips. It just fit. I think it just fit. All the colors fit. It was just really cute. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. Take it and put it in like an awareness shape. Pull it to the top or to the bottom. Scrunch it all together and put it right down on top. Now, if your hands are better than mine and you can hold it all at once, go for it. I cannot. Okay, I can't, so I'm going to keep putting it in my little holder here. I'm going to keep going. You know what, let's make this one a little bit smaller so that the loops are a little bit smaller than the last one. So I'm just eyeballing it and looking at the loops. Again, watch before you make your decision, okay? All right, same thing. I'm going to take this last one. And the last one you could, we're still going to do the awareness ribbon style. Okay? Just a little bit different, okay? It's just all a little bit different. This bow is just a little bit different. So I'm going to make the tail look a little bit longer because we can cut the tails. And I'm going to make those loops be a little bit smaller by making the tails longer. My loops are going to end up a little bit smaller. Okay, super duper cute. and then just slide it in there. Now, we have one pipe cleaner left. We have one pipe cleaner left. I'm going to cut it. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and lift it straight up. It's a teensy tiny little bow, okay? Teensy tiny little bow. Straight up, holding on to it. Grab my little piece here. Now, I have my glue gun. I don't have my glue gun on. Now I have it on. My glue gun going. Nice and tight. Super, super cute. I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna go out. Just a little tiny different. So I'm gonna go, so I came out with my daisy. I went up with the yellow, down with the strawberry, and out with the umbrella. So I'm gonna go out with the daisy, up with the strawberry, down with the yellow, out with the umbrella. Super duper cute, just for a different looking bow. Now, I'm gonna cut this to be a little shorter. Cut this to be a little shorter. Super cute. Let's see if this is long enough. I don't think this is going to be long enough. I'm going to have to use the other part. I'm going to have to use the other part. All right. So let's use yellow. I'm going to use, we're not using this whole thing, by the way. But what I'm going to do is use this. I'm waiting for my glue gun to get ready. I'm going to use this and kind of put it around the center and then glue it. Okay, so you can, that's cute. Actually, we don't even need to wait for that glue gun. We can pull it here nice and tight and use my trusty dusty little pipe cleaner here. Because we're going to use our pipe cleaner. Are you ready for this? We're going to use our pipe cleaner. There we go, perfect. Now I have it really, really cute. That's adorable. I love it, I love it, love it. We're going to use our pipe cleaner. I said that 5 times, I'm sorry. And we're going to attach it to the sign. We're going to put our pipe cleaner right through that little hole there. Okay, we're going to put our pipe cleaner right through the hole. Now, what I'm going to do is going to be a little tricky for what you can see, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that little tiny little pipe cleaner right through, and I'm going to attach the bow to the sign. And then, once that is attached, then I'm going to take the pipe cleaners, put it through the mesh, right? I'm probably going to go in right here to go on this side of the frame. I'm probably going to go in right here to go on this side of the frame so that I can take those pipe cleaners in and wrap it around the frame, right? But you won't see that because I'll be doing it underneath the sign, and the bow will be in my my way of your way of seeing my hands. So know that that's what I'm going to do. Now that's that one, okay? Now that covers the bottom. Let's cover the top. Let's cover the top. Now I strongly suggest, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm strongly suggesting that you maybe do it this way, because then you'll cover both of those pipe cleaners. Your other option is to, of course, ooh, that is hot. The other option is to use the zip tie mounts that came with it, which would be fine, or use wire if you have wire, all right? So we are going to cut, these are going to be about 9 inches, okay? 9 inches, and we're going to do 2. 9 inches and 9 inches. All right? 9 inches and 9 inches. We're going to do the same thing on all of them. Where's the rest of that pipe cleaner we have left? There it is. Okay. So we're going to go 9 inches and 9 inches. So 9 inches, 9 inches. And actually you have more, because remember that one we cut a little bit. We don't need 3 for this. 9 inches. Actually, what we'll do, we'll use that something else. 9 inches and 9 inches. Okay, we are going to use this at the top. All right, so we only have 3 left, and we probably won't use those. All right, so what we're going to do now is take all of our layers and trim the edge. Right, so we're going to go dovetail all of the edges. Now, in this case, if you have other ribbons that are non-wired or coordinating or matching, feel free to add those in. I'm going to put those all together and cut it all at once. Our scissors is pretty good to be able to do that. I'm going to do the other side, kind of level them up, get them all even, and so that I can cut them all at once. They don't have to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And then we'll cut our 2 purples. So what we're going to do is make just a little tiny, a little like messy bow, a little rag bow, except this time with wired ribbon that coordinates and matches. It's going to be perfect. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put my purples on the bottom. Excuse me. Purples on the bottom. And then my yellows, because I'm going to put that yellow on the top. And then my, well, let's go like this. Let's go yellow, strawberry, umbrella, and then let's go yellow, not exactly on top, strawberry, not exactly on top. So I'm kind of either going a little bit more up or a little bit more down. And then, okay, so let's do that again. All right, let's do that again. We have purple, purple, yellow, let's go yellow going up, strawberry, then, oops, umbrella, so kind of right in the center, and then let's go yellow opposite, strawberry opposite, and then umbrella again on top. We'll just put the umbrellas going the opposite way this time, right? And then I'm going to pick it up all at once. We're going to use this and this left over. Pick it up all at once, and then I'm going to scrunch the center as best as you can. This is the most uncomfortable and awkward thing because you have this big giant, you know, pile of ribbons that are, some of them are really thick, some of them are not really thick. I'm going to take that ribbon once I have them all, or pipe cleaner, once I have them all in, and just take it and go around the center as best as I can. Nice and tight, twist, twist. Again, I only need enough to go through that top, the top of that sign, right? Super cute little, just a cute little bow. Now I'm going to take that, what's left, and since since our glue gun is ready, okay, I'm going to take that, what's left, kind of fold it in. I'm folding both of the edges in so you don't see the edge, you just see the plaid, and go right around the center. Now the back, I have the pipe cleaners going like from side to side, so you can't really, I mean, you can see them, but it's not going to get in the way. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in there, a little bit of glue, a little bit of glue. Put that down. Add some more glue to my glue gun. Burning my fingers, it's fine. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, do the same thing. So pull it up, add some glue. And then once it's set, you can, again, I just do this for added security, right? And then I can take that extra off. And then I have this little teeny tiny little thing, spot, that again, just the way I explained the other one. Look how cute! That is so stinking cute. Adorable. Super cute. All right, so we're going to do the same thing I just said, right? I'm going to attach the sign. Get you in here. I'm going to attach the bow, rather, to the sign. So I'm going to put that right through the hole. I'm going right through that little hole. Right through the hole. I got my glue gun ready, so once it's in place and I'm all done, I can just probably tack it or glue it a little bit in place. So see, I just added it to the sign. Okay, so that's there. Now I'm going to take these pieces and put it through the, no, I just twisted it, it's fine, I put it in place, and put them through the mesh. Okay, it's going through the mesh. First of all, let me make sure I got a good spot. It's going the right direction. Here we are, good. Now, that cute mesh that I was talking about, that I was raving about, that I loved so much, yeah, it's a problem at this point because you can't put the, not a problem, but it's an obstacle. You can't put the pipe cleaner, obviously, through those foil pieces that's in the mesh, right? So you have to look for the center. Remember I said the center doesn't have all those fun things, and I was talking about how the center of the center doesn't need all that border. Okay, put it in place. Perfect. So I'm going to turn it over. This is going to smush our bow, but it's okay. We haven't fixed anything yet. So I'm going to turn it over. Okay, so from here. Now, here's where exactly. You see where that extra hole is? If I didn't have enough pipe cleaner, I could have just put my pipe cleaner through the hole and attached it that way. I did have enough that it went on both sides for this particular case. What I'm going to do is pull it really tight and twist it right on the edge, because when I'm done, I want to hide this underneath the frame so it's smooth on the top, right? So it's not pokey on the bottom, right? There we go. Perfect. In the center as best as we can. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I love this. Now, if you're leaving this exposed completely, just know a pipe cleaner looks like a craft. We want our wreath to look like a finished professional design, right? And so I'm doing my best to hide those crafty type mechanics. So I'm going to do the same thing. Put that pipe cleaner right through here. And I do that first because clearly it's a little bit easier if I do that before I have it tied in, right? It's a little easier if I do that before. I know it's sideways. I'll turn it in just a second. Okay, so our sign, big welcome. It had the daisies. You can still see the daisies. Perfect spacing. Again, kind of wiggling my way through here, looking for a spot to put that pipe cleaner all the way through. This is adorable. This is really cute. So, you know, when we do events and stuff and there's make and takes, and even though the person on stage could be, this is going to take 1 second to get through, even though the person on stage could be, you know, put this particular ribbon at the 12 o'clock spot, put this particular flower at the 1 o'clock spot, even though they could say that, you're the creative, right? You could be like, I don't like that, and or I like that, but let me try to see if I can do my own thing, right? You don't necessarily have to do what the creator is suggesting. So if you have other ways and you want to do other ways, by all means, I can't wait to see it, right? I can't wait to see it. All right, let me just pull that in tight, flip it. Now, in this case, I'm going to talk about a couple things. In this case, I'm almost out of pipe cleaner here, and there's no extra holes here. The cool thing is, I could flip this over and push this pipe cleaner up through that hole, right? I could do that if it wouldn't reach all the way. So, again, more ways than one to complete. And in this case, since the pipe cleaner that was ended up on the outside was longer, I'm just going to take it into the inside edge. No different, doing the exact same thing, just twisting it around and then making sure it gets hidden up underneath. Again, so it's nice and smooth. Then, super cute, I love how this turned out. Just absolutely darling. It has the bows, yet also still pretty flat to go between the doors. I love it. The last thing, let me zoom you out here. I love this. The last thing I'm going to do is, remember I said at the beginning, make sure your tails, pull them up, spread them apart so that you can make sure that they are going to be separated. The last thing I do is go and make sure you can see them all, right? So I make sure all those tips are facing out towards the edge. I make sure one isn't covering the other one too much, because right from my table, I'm picking this cutie pie up and it's going right on the door for pictures, and then it's going right in my Etsy shop, and then it's going right over to the boutique. Right, so I want these to be absolutely perfect before I pick them up and move them around. That one appears to be a little bit longer. I'm just going to cut it right here. So I do keep a scissors right by the door where I take pictures. So I hang it on the door. And then if a ribbon is too long, or if I can see some of that fraying mesh, I just cut it right off, right then and there. Right? I just leave the scissors right by the door. This is darling. This is so precious. I love it. I love that it's purple. I love that it's umbrellas. Perfect for spring and summer, because let's be real, it's, well, for here it rains a lot in the summer. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I love our little tiny bow. It turned out just adorable. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're following us. I hope you're subscribed to our YouTube. I hope you're following us on Facebook, where we go live all the time, or at least I attempt to go live all the time. I enjoy making wreaths and designs for you, and I hope you will see us again soon. Again, I'm Sincerely Creative Mom on all the platforms. Learnfrommelissa.com is where you can see a list of all the things we can help you with. In the description of this video, you'll see some links that will also be helpful to you. I hope you're on our newsletter so that you get updates and all the fun things. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.